Did you get an opportunity to set up your HTML? Because this lesson, we're going to be diving into our styling. So we've linked out to a style sheet, and usually I like to set something for the body, and we'll just do a text align center. So we'll align all of our text in the center, and also set a background color. So this background color can be whatever you want, whatever makes sense to you. I'm going to pick one here at random. Maybe we can do coral, so it's a nice orangey color. And you can set whatever parameters. I don't want to spend too much time on the styling, so of course you can make it look a whole lot better as you go through building out the lessons and applying even more CSS. Let's also grab some of our elements. So quickly going back here, we've got our main countdown element. So adding that in, and remember this is by ID, so we need to use the hash symbol. And then here, let's do some styling for this. Add in a background color for each one of those. And I want to make this a little bit darker than what we have as our orange color. So let's do it chocolate color. And let's also update the color of the font. So set it to white. And we'll set the width of it to 100%. So it's all the way across. And text align. And I know the text is already centered, so just add that in. And also I want to have a different font size for this one. So do 2EM. So that we have nice big letters there so that we can see those. And each one of those elements is within a countdown, so it's directly the divs within there. So just apply the styling to that as well. And within, we're going to change the display. We'll do a display inline block. So that will position it horizontally, just like that. You can see on the right-hand side here how it's adjusting as we're making changes. And that's one of the things I like about brackets, is that we can do it this way and that we can see some of the styling changes that we're applying. And there's also, if you also notice that I do have the tabs here at the top, so that's one of the extensions in brackets. So if you are using brackets and you want to have these tabs here at the top, then the one that I'm using is going to be brackets file tabs, or you could use brackets working file tabs. So both of these will list the sidebar, and then we can see it at the top there. And then this is some of the other extensions that I have. And of course, it's only relevant if you are using brackets. Also, let's do a border radius. So border radius gives us slight rounding of the elements. And then we can also do a background color. So we want to have something different. Let's just make it black so that they really stand out on that orange background. And the next thing that we want to do, let's go one more level down. So we're going to look at all of the countdown, the divs, and we're going to look at spans that are directly within the divs. So grab all of those spans there. And the spans is actually where we put our wording. So let's apply some padding for this. So maybe 10 pixels there. I'll also do a border radius. And I'm just going to do slight rounding of the border. And background color, kind of an off gray color. We can do a dark gray. And we're also going to do a display there and display inline block. So that resizes it so that it's all sitting nice and well sized like that. And I do have my screen browser zoomed in, and that's why we're seeing it that when I made it a little bit smaller, it all went into the horizontal. And there's also a few other things that I want to adjust before we complete the styling. So one of the things is the input. So we only have one input, so I'm going to just grab the input by the tag name. And we can do a font size for the input to make the font bigger. Let's try 1.5 EM. Also, I wanted to do a margin. And I want the margin to be actually relatively big, so that I have quite a bit of spacing around there. And then also some padding. Padding is always great, looks nice. So add in some padding. So now we have our drop down, and this is by default in HTML5. There's also some JavaScript ones available as well. And then the last thing, we also use the small tag. So let's add some styling. And usually, even if I'm not applying any real styling to it, I like to add it in as a placeholder so that if I do want to apply some styling, then I can do that really easily. I can identify it. So just adding in a little bit of padding there. And let's do the font size as well. So the font size on this one's going to be pretty small because it's already small. But again, it's up to you, and however you're designing it, whatever looks best for you. This was just to identify and going back into our index. So we had these values here identifying those elements, the small elements. So save that. You can refresh it, but by general, all the styling should be already added in because we're using the live preview. So now we are ready to move on to the fun part, and that's the JavaScript. So go ahead and apply some styling. You don't have to do it exactly the way that I've done it within this lesson. Just apply some styling and build out your countdown timer. So make it look as you want it to look. Also apply the colors that you want. And coming up next is JavaScript.